Erased Destiny 2, The Knower. Chapter 3, Price of Tranquility. In the morning, Jargon had to postpone his meeting with Marigold to a more favorable occasion as his father returned to Sintra. In a good mood, given the break-in at their home and the demolition of his study.
You don't even know how happy I am to see you.
I can guess.
Cyril replied in a half-hearted voice, seeing Joanna approaching.
Where have you been? We were so worried.
It turned out that it was not the producers who added wood bark to the spices but the bearers. To sell part of my goods and make an extra profit, they added bark to bags so that the amount would match. It took me a while to track down the culprits, hence the delay. Sorry.
Heavily tanned skin, a broad smile hidden beneath a thicket of black, long unshaven beard, clothes that didn't quite match the outdoors. All these things set Cyril apart from the pale, swarthy inhabitants of Sintra. Jargon hugged his father. He really missed him.
And what happened to our house? I saw signs of a break-in.
Human greed knows no bounds. We've been away for just 2 months and the neighbors decided to steal our possessions.
Since I am back, I will take care of everything. You guys wait for a few more days here. Until I clean up the house, find our missing servants, remind the neighbors about the overdue rents.
To Joanna, the prospect of staying in Uriel's house, where she lacked nothing, suited enough to agree to her husband's proposal, and Jargon quickly interjected.
I'll go with you, Dad. Sitting in Sintra bores me terribly.
And they left the town on horseback. They arrived together only to the first fork, at which Jargon stopped and said,
I have some urgent things to do. I'll be back by the spring.
He intended to head toward the sea, but his father, on a much swarthier mount, blocked his way.
Don't you need money?
Thanks, Dad, but no. I can take care of myself.
Since when?
A bit of snow fell from Cyril's coat, when he himself was shaking with laughter, directly under the hooves of fearful Patch. Jargon leaned over in the saddle to stroke the frightened mare's neck. He showed his parent a bag of travel gear, slightly smaller than his own, and ringed the coins hidden in a pouch attached to his trouser belt.
Since we ran out of the money you left behind, I've been putting mine under my mother's thumb to stay longer at the seaside. And without her, my expenses will drop almost to zero.
Have you fallen in love with some harbor girl that you are so raring for the sea?
Rather, at the sound of crackling ice. There's a great job waiting for me there, so please let me go. Everett is counting on me. Well, and I'll bring back a lot of money. It's a strange feeling, having a job, earning my own living. I must admit that independence appeals to me very much.
It seems to me that you have lost weight. Once you enjoy your independence and earn enough money to feel satisfied, take care of your diet. Youth is governed by its own laws, that's a fact. But its consequences will catch up with you in old age, in the form of arthritis and other unpleasantries. Not that this is my concern. Fortunately, I won't live to see your old age.
Cyril's laughter somewhat surprised Jargon. His father was rarely in a crotchety mood, especially if they talked about the future and money. Meanwhile, the smile had not disappeared from Cyril's face since his return from the mysterious trip.
Just come back before the end of the month, otherwise I take you home.
Cyril returned to Sintra. His intention was to talk to Jargon in private, not to check the house he has checked already. He left his horse at the gate and went to the courthouse. He greeted the usher, slipped a bottle of booze through a crack in the door and said,
I would like to see Judge Alfred.
He is busy now. Please wait in the waiting room.
The usher took Cyril to a heated room where witnesses waited to meet the knowers. He was treated to hot tea and salty pastries. Because of Jargon, Cyril thought about his own youth, endless days in the saddle, nights outside. Maybe Jargon wasn't as different from him as he thought. At the sound of known voice, Cyril turned toward the stairs. Marigold, clad in a black sackcloth, was standing next to a young man in a judge's toga. They were talking in half-voice, but most of what they said reached Cyril. He had a tight knot in his gut. Marigold's presence in the court made it difficult to assert his rights in disputes with neighbors and contractors. Every case pending before the court could be handled by Marigold. Every hearing could be judged by her.
I am still missing a key witness. The beggar to whom Torden handed the bag of jewels.
It won't be easy to find him and time is running out. The mayor is pressing.
If the projection of Torden's memories could serve as an evidence, we would have closed the case long ago. It's a shame that Lucretia was able to say so little.
He killed her from behind, so she didn't see him. And it's a pity, because the words of the dead are honored equally with the words of the living. She gave the lie to his story of getting up late, but that's not enough to convict him of his wife's murder.
Throughout the many years of activity, Cyril had never stepped on the toes of anyone significant. He had never conflicted with anyone important. He did not expect a poor peasant woman in a torn dress to get so high and jeopardize his interests. He wondered how to convince Marigold to remain objective in evaluating the testimony of witnesses in cases involving Cyril.
And her diary?
It only shows that their marriage did not work out. And that you are a capable finder of clues and evidences. 2 days are left till the final trial. Please, do whatever possible to find that beggar.
Cyril decided that he should start by apologizing and giving the girl a small but tasteful gift. Assure her that their meeting at Uriel's house was one big misunderstanding. He thought about Jargon and his seaside jaunts. On the one hand, he was worried about his son's safety, while on the other he was glad that the boy had finally started doing something with his life. That he wasn't chasing after Marigold. Over a second cup of tea, Cyril spotted Alfred walking toward the cafeteria in the corridor. He got to his feet and approached the judge.
Good afternoon. We haven't seen each other for a long time.
Alfred was displeased that someone was disturbing him. He did not recognize the interlocutor and did not feel like recalling where and when they met, especially since this man seemed to have a case.
My house has been broken into and the guards do not wish to take any action. And since I am anxious to catch the perpetrators quickly, I am ready to get personally involved in the investigation.
How big loss have you suffered?
Very big, considering the burning of quite a number of books, breaking windows, and even burning the floor.
The judge stepped back to the voxel to see which of the knowers could handle the case. Cyril was standing right behind him. The name Marigold appearing next to Judge Phineas twisted his lips in a slight grimace.
Martin. Tomorrow he would visit you. Please, if possible, do not rearrange anything in the house. Do not obliterate the traces of the burglary. Leave the address at the gatehouse. Goodbye.
Alfred left so quickly that Cyril did not have time to speak up a proposal of material benefits for those helping to unravel the case. Somewhat disappointed by the judge's attitude, he returned to the usher.
I live in Wolves Rome. The only manor in the area. Cyril, son of Teresa.
You got lucky. Knower Martin knows his stuff. He has unraveled many cases.
I am glad to hear that. It's good to know that competent people with years of experience work in the court. And what happened to Knower Amanda? Did she resign?
We are all saddened by this. She was great in the courtroom, accurately assessing the testimony and evidence gathered. But at her age, hardly surprising. She spent more than 40 years in the court. Her duties were taken over by Marigold, a youngster, maybe 15 years old, and everyone praises her. First investigation and immediately a murder. Apparently, Judge Phineas likes to take a risk, although I wouldn't suspect him of that.
Cyril pretended to listen to the usher's words with moderate interest, but couldn't help feeling nervous. The sooner he solved the problem, the better. It was already a late evening when a resigned and cold Marigold was slowly getting used to the idea of visiting the tunnels under the town, the same that Jared had used to get into Sintra. Suddenly her attention was drawn to guards tugging at a man. She approached them, asking what was going on.
I got this bag. I did not steal it. I swear.
Sure, you come with us.
There is no need for that. May I take a peek?
Marigold showed papers certifying her employment at the court. The sight of the girl waving the document did not convince the guards enough to waive their detention. They turned their backs on Marigold and began dragging the moaning beggar toward the court.
Let him go. Command. Now go to the market. Patrol the streets there.
The mind spell had the expected effect, and after a while, Etienne was left alone with the homeless man.
You got this bag from a rich man, didn't you? Black hair, mustache, slim, about 50?
That's right. How do you know?
I am a knower, and I am investigating this case. You did not sell the jewels you received, did you?
I tried. But immediately the guards attacked me.
Etienne confiscated the bag and restrained the homeless man with poison ivy. She figured that if it hadn't been for the tug of war with the guards, her only witness would have been stuck in the guardhouse for stealing and she wouldn't have found him in time, which would have buried chances of Torden's conviction. Marigold, happier than ever, returned to the courthouse, handed the detainee over to the guards and went to bed.